Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Hillbilly Select Reviews. Here I'm going to show you the family-owned liquor store that we had. These pictures were taken in the 70s, maybe 77, 78. I was still in high school, and after I graduated from college I came back and actually ran this store for a while. And that's where I picked up and got the first bit of knowledge for the different types of things that I review. Was going to trade shows, being able to try everything, talking to customers about things, started a wine club, going to all kinds of tastings and being able to taste everything we sold. I started developing a palate. This is actually the sign. Now some of these, like I say, the pictures are old, and this is when we first had bought the store. It was 10,000 square feet. At the time, that was a big store. It was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That's the sign. All right, picture's a little bent up a little bit, and here's a side view of the sign, and that's the front of the store. Had our van in front of it. Looks like there's a little snow, and snow's melting, so this is obviously, trees don't have leaves. Well, I'm not sure what month it is. Better close up of the van. Now here's the van. It was cool. Had a Mighty Mouse painted on it, holding cherries, because it was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I don't know if you can see that. Here's the back of it, and then the a side view. That's the dog, Shotzi. That was our dog that stayed at the store, and probably the reason we never had any problems the whole time we were there. But speaking of the dog, I'll give you some shots of her. Was actually trained by a man who trained dogs in the military. So she wasn't just a pet by any means. She knew all kinds of hand signals and verbal commands. That's actually me with her. In a minute I'll show you who's crying here. It's my newest puppy. That's my dad. Just playing with her a little bit. There's my pup there, relaxing out in front of the store. And there she is where she usually stayed, behind the counter where the cigarettes and pints and half pints were. That was her usual. She could jump right over that counter if need be. And here's some pictures of the store display from back in the day. Sure, I got some of these bottles I have of liquor from the 70s. I have a whole bunch of liquor from the 70s, which is now worth a fortune. This store was changed a lot prior to these pictures. This is when we first got it. There was a wine room at it that was really beautiful. Some different things changed, but this is when we first had purchased it. Just different shots of the store. That one's looking at the beer cooler. Some aisles. Beer cooler back here had, I think, 10 windows. This was some wine that was chilled. That thing right there was refrigerated. The store used to be a grocery store, and then it was turned into a liquor store. Some more shots of the chilled area. It's an aisle with goodies on it. That's this is 1977 technology. That's me right there. But yeah, another shot of some of the merchandise back in the day. Wines are just starting to catch on in the U.S., believe it or not. Wasn't a big wine market back then. It's one of my parents posing. It's probably one of my crappy cameras. And these are the shirts that they sold. He's big on that Mighty Mouse with the cherries. This is in black and white. But anyway, I still have some of those. I have at least one of those shirts. That I know for sure. I looked at that. see what else we got. I'll show you something really cool. Well, let me show you some workers just to get it on here. That's one of the high school kids that worked for us. I was in high school too. Can't remember his, Kevin, I think. And my mother at the register. And this guy was cool, World War II vet, Bob Leach. We used to have stories about him, me and some of the other kids that worked there that I was friends with. We would talk for hours. That guy was something else, man. This guy's name was Jim. He actually passed away fairly early, so I'll give him a shout out. Bob's gone too. It's my father mopping. Nice bell bottoms there, pups. My dad at the register. And this guy's one of the salesmen that my dad actually kind of became friendly with, Jules Glickman. He's since passed away. He was a World War II vet. He was a cool guy too. So it happens to be showing pictures that are 40 years old. I'm going to save the last two that I like the best for last. This was inside the beer cave, if you will. We ended up getting a lot of, especially for the time, different kind of beers. There wasn't so many microbreweries. We started getting like the Anchor Steam and all. And back in the day, that was a big deal. So we did get a lot of stuff other than Bud and Miller, which was Schlitz, the big sellers. Yingling when it was crap. Anyway, there's a bunch of Budweiser up against the wall. We sold the hell out of it. Just cases and cases of it. And then what was cool, when I joined the Marines, they gave me this giant poster that we hung up in the store. Look at it. That thing is unbelievably cool. It was like a bunch of sheets that you put together to make this. I mean, that thing was like 25 feet. I mean, it was beautiful. So my dad, he was in the Navy, and it killed him. So he went to the recruiter and begged him and begged him. And finally, he got this and hung it up. That's how big the store was. And a ship that he got. So, you know, he had to get something because I was giving him hell about having that cool Marine thing. But, let me get it there. Maybe I'd like this to be the thumbnail. It'd be cool. There it is. Anyway, from Hillbilly Select Reviews, this is where I first got my first start. We ended up importing wine from Italy and forming a giant co-op and everything. It was a great time. So it's where I got started my knowledge, everybody. See you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. All right.